Alright, here goes. And I hope this thing is actually recording. I might as well go into the backstory about why I'm doing this. There are two reasons why I'm doing this video. One is, I was talking with some friends about, wacky stuff you could do with hair and stuff that I've done. And my friend Ashley said, hey, you could cut your hair blindfolded. And I was like, I've never done that. That might be kind of interesting. I don't know if anybody's ever tried cutting their own hair blindfolded. I mean, I'm sure somebody must have, but I haven't seen a video of it or anything. So I thought, that might be an interesting video. It's just a matter of, figuring out when to do it, because I just got to wait for my hair to get long enough. And I wasn't really sure when that would be. But then, the other day I was at a restaurant, and I was going to the bathroom, the men's room, as usual, and I was just waiting in line to use the urinal, and then the guy finished, and he turns around, he sees me, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was the women's restroom. And I was like, no, it's not the women's restroom, but maybe it is time to cut my hair. So, there you have it. I don't particularly have, a plan in mind. I also got to be a little bit careful because these scissors are very sharp. Oh, I was also generally thinking it might be nice to cut all the stuff that's bleached, so that it's just my natural hair. The bleaching is fun, and it looks interesting, but it does really damage the hair, and it makes it really dry, which makes it kind of a pain to take care of. You gotta put a lot of stuff in it to make it look reasonable. So, in general, what I'm attempting to do is to kind of grab bits of the hair and then cut the parts that are a little longer and sticking out. I will say this works much better when you can see what you're doing. Ooh, almost cut a knuckle there. Hey Dyson, can you come and make sure that I'm actually recording over here? Careful of the scissors.
Yep.
Okay, and do you see the time counting up? We're counting up. And the green light on the camera?
Mm-hmm.
How does the hair look so far? Okay. Alright. Also, do you think you can get a bowl of water? What are you doing? Are you wiping off the hair?
Yes.
Thank you. Are you using the broom? That's it. So, even though I can't see what I'm doing, I do have a general sense of where my hands are and where the scissors are. I think that's called proprioception or proprioception or something like that. And it's basically the sense that you have that allows you to, say, clap your hands even if your eyes are closed, or reach behind your back and touch your fingers or something like that. It's a general sense of you know where your body is even if you don't see it. And so that is what I'm relying on to cut my hair while my eyes are blindfolded. As you can see, my general sense of knowing where my hands are is not perfect. I do occasionally cut a bit of my hand. I hope I'm not bleeding profusely all over the place. I have this general vague idea that I want the hair to be shorter in the back and on the sides, and then to kind of smoothly go from shorter to longer towards the front. But that's a lot harder to do when you can't see what you're doing. But the nice thing about hair is that it continues to grow. Well, unless you start going bald. Also, if it looks really bad, I can just shave it all off. Alright. How does that look? Well, of course, can't hear you if you're responding. Let's see if I can find... Okay, I think I found the bowl of water. This should kind of help make it stand out a little bit more, so maybe it makes it a little easier to cut and to tell where the longer and shorter parts are. I think that feels long. So, recording videos is an interesting form of communication. It's communication in the sense that I'm recording this video, and it's communicating an idea and a conversation and like the hair cutting for other people. And maybe, hopefully somebody will find it interesting or something. But it's kind of a one-way thing. Like, I have no idea like what the response would be at this point. And then it sort of becomes a two-way communication if somebody comments on the video, which is kind of nice. I like it when people comment. But even then, it's kind of like a time-delayed communication. This is one of those things, like, it started with the advent of writing. Like, as soon as somebody got the idea to write something down, that sort of became like a little bit of time travel. Like, that message was received at a much later date, and if the message lasted a long time, it could be received or read at a much, much later date, like long after the person had died and lived or whatever. And the same thing is kind of true of these videos, although it's unlikely that people are going to be watching this years from now. And it's still kind of an interesting thing to think about. I'm just imagining, like, if some human archaeologist, like hundreds of years from now, happened to randomly come across this video, like, why would this person do this? Although I guess I kind of explained why at the beginning of the video. Actually, now that I think about it, I wonder if anybody has made a blindfolded haircut video. I'm going to actually search to see if anybody's done it. But then again, I don't think there are a lot of people that are cutting their own hair. And then 2, making videos of cutting their own hair. And 3, are indifferent enough about how they look that they would be willing to take the risk of cutting their own hair while blindfolded. Like, I like doing stuff with my hair, but ultimately I'm kind of lazy about it. I like long hair because you don't have to do anything, you just kind of wake up and you go. But then it's a lot of hair, and it's a lot to wash and so forth. So the short hair is kind of convenient for that. Wash it a lot faster, and it doesn't get into your face and so forth. But short hair doesn't stay short forever. You gotta keep on cutting it. So the shorter it is, the more frequently you have to cut it, which is kind of a pain. So I kind of go back and forth between short and long hair. It's actually kind of calming cutting your own hair. You get into a certain rhythm. I mean, not that I would recommend cutting your hair blindfolded to everybody, but it is an interesting experience. You know, eyes are closed. You're just kind of methodically doing something. It's actually kind of soothing. Okay, yes, I've got clippers. Oh, do I want to do this blindfolded? Alright, give it a shot. Oh boy. Now left-handed. Ah, ah. Oh, I really do not have confidence in this part. I mean, it doesn't feel terribly uneven. Is this side longer? This side feels longer than this side. This feels weird. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I cut a little too short on this side, I think. But again, you can always go shorter, so I might be bald soon. I might shave my head. Alright, time to take a look. Here goes. No, that's not terrible. It's not the worst haircut that I've had. That's a little bit... Okay, I think I need to redo that part.
I took a shower, put some product in my hair, and yeah, and kind of made sure that it was all parted in, or kind of off to one side. And yeah, it's not too bad, especially considering that I did it all blindfolded. I think the only part that's a little dodgy is like right here, where obviously I got a little too close and it doesn't quite match on the evenness. But so if you decide to do this, be careful with clippers around the side. You gotta be extra careful and make sure it's not like too short or something. And then like the part with the scissors actually turned out relatively even, surprisingly enough. I only cut myself like a couple times, like hand and like I think on the back of the ear. So also be careful about that. So there it is, blindfolded haircut.